Here's on the day supply and the quantity to be dispensed, okay, especially for freshmen. Day supply, when you're calculating this means how long will a prescription last? How long will a prescription last? Okay. Day supply. Your final answer should be in number of days. And how long will it last? Based on the SIG. Okay. So how long will it last based on days? I didn't say months. First reminder. Okay. I didn't say months. So your final answer should not be 1 month or 3 months. Your final answer should be calculated into days. How many days is 1 month equivalent to when it comes to pharmacy? Did Ms. J mention? 30. Okay. 1 month in pharmacy will always be equivalent to 30 days no matter what. That's for insurance calculations. Is that clear? Even if it's February with 28 days or a leap year, or December with 31, January with 31, July and August with 31. A month will always be equivalent to 30 days. So if your final answer came up to 3 months, your final answer should be 9 days. That's the first reminder. Clear? Yes? Okay. Next one. Quantity to dispense. Oh, before I move to quantity to dispense, day supply final answer must be rounded down. This is how I remember it. Day supply D, down D. Okay. I didn't do it like this in pharmacy school. I have to help myself to remember these things. So day supply round down. What does that mean? Say, for example, your final answer turned out to be 9.3 days. You getting it? So you just do 9. Your final answer came up to 9.6 days. So this usually isn't, I don't know, it's just the first number that came to mind. 9.6 days. What's the final answer? 9. Still 9, even if this is 5 and over. Freshmen, you follow it? Okay. Because of the rule round down. That's on days supply. That clear? Next one. Quantity to dispense. How much do you give to give the patient? So this is going to be in number of tabs, number of caps. You follow? Okay. Or in ml. Right? Your final answer is in teaspoon, you got to convert it to ml or whatever the question is. Okay. But as a general rule, your final answer must be in metric for liquids. Okay. So if your final answer turned out to be in ounce, okay, make it ml. Final answer turned out to be teaspoon, make it ml, unless it's specifically asked on the test. How much is this in teaspoon? How much is this in ounce? You follow it? Okay. That's just what quantity to dispense is. So it's quantity. If day supply is round down, what do you think is round up? What means quantity to be dispensed is round up. Say, for example, your final answer is 5.5 tabs. What should be your final answer? 6 tabs. Your final answer is 5 1/3 or 5.3. What should be your final answer? 6 tabs. Still, even if it's less than 5, because the rule is round up. Are we clear? Okay. This is something to do with insurance. Well, the rules are because of insurance. Why? Because you don't want to short the patient. Yeah. With their drugs. Okay. These are some of the examples. On the quantity to be dispensed, Ms. J just gave you a packet that is total, correct? Total quantity. However, That's not always the case on final exams and board exams. Okay? Quantity to be dispensed may be different things. Quantity to be dispensed can be, which you can look at your packet. First page is per dose. When you say per dose, it's the same as per administration or single dose. They are one and the same. Okay? Which means the BID, the TID, the QID doesn't matter at this point. Why? Why does it not matter? Because it's single dose. BID means, what does BID mean? Twice a day. 2 times a day. TID means 3 times a day. QID means 4 times a day. So if I were you, freshmen, I'm going to start crossing out on page 1 of the 3-page packet I just handed you all the BIDs, all the TIDs, all the QIDs on per dose. Yes, Michelle. Oh. Yes. Are you following? Because this means per day, right? So on your packet as well, it will say for 10 days, for 20 days, for 30 days. Does that matter on the per dose per administration? No, so cross it out too. I'm just talking about first page. Because what's the instruction on page 1? Can you say it, Daya? Page 1, calculate for a single dose. So you gotta pay attention to the instructions always. Yeah, because your test will not be grouped per page. They will throw you random question. Is it per dose, per day, total quantity? So if I'm reading word problems, one of the first things I do is underline or encircle if I'm being asked per dose, per day, or total quantity. Are you following? Okay. So no matter how good you are in math, if you don't know abbreviations, we got a problem, right? Okay. Because these abbreviations mean something and it will be used in the calculation. Okay. So moving forward to refer to page 2 of your packet. Page 2 has an instruction. Daniel, can you read the instruction on page 2? You also don't have it? I need 15. Calculate. He has a copy?
No, he says he doesn't take math to get me
Oh, okay. Calculate for a single, what does it say?
Single day.
Single day. Day means per day. It's the same. So pay attention to the instructions. Okay? Pay attention to the instructions. Now, if single day and per day or per day means how much does the patient need to take on a daily basis, does the BID, TID, QID matter this time?
Yes.
Yes. So don't cross them off. That's why it says 2 times a day. So it matters on the per day. But the for 10 days, for 30 days, for 60 days, does that matter? No. So cross this part out on page 2. Clear, freshmen? Okay. Again, remember, the test questions are not going to be grouped like this. Yeah, so you're going to be ready with different instructions all over the place, right? And last one will be what you've been doing, total quantity. So when you're asked, how much do we have to give the patient? Okay, that's total. Or how much do we have to give to the patient for the entire duration of treatment? Yeah? Then, if it's total quantity, the 10 days, the 30 days, the 60 days matter. So you don't have to cross out anything. Are you following? Okay. So these are some of my reminders because you don't know what's going to be asked on the test and they're not going to be grouped per page like that. Okay. Is that clear? Okay. Some reminders. Okay. So right away, if you see the instruction per dose or per administration, cross out the BID, the TIDs in the 10 days, 30 days. If you see per day, leave the BIDs, the TIDs, and the QIDs because it matter, but cross out the 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, 10 days, 7 days. Okay? Total quantity, everything, what you've been practicing on. Clear? And remember these rules too. Okay. For purposes of uniformity, if it's teaspoon, if it's liquid, keep 2 decimal places. Remember, that was my general rule. Just keep 2 decimal places so that you remember everything is 2 decimal places except for temperature. However, there are tests, final exam and board exam, that will say if it's more than 1, keep the 10th place, meaning just 1 decimal place. If it's less than 1, keep 2 decimal places or the 100th place. So pay attention to the instructions still. Remember, if there are no instructions, my verbal order applies. If the test has instructions, forget about my verbal order, follow the instructions on the test. Clear? Okay. Some, before I move forward to the next topic. Ask me now. Okay. You're going to have to work on that worksheet on your own. Okay. And then once we have time, we're going to go over answers, or you can stay after class for tutoring, and we're going to go over answers. Okay. Because I'm trying to add more hours into your math class. And by doing this, we're adding more hours to your math class. Any questions? Of course, the other rules that I've mentioned back in the day or earlier, do not forget the deleting 0, drop the trailing 0, still applies. Okay? Still applies. And if you are to make a choice on a multiple choice question, the do not use list, like milligram, should be spelled out and microgram should be spelled out, not abbreviated. You choose those best answers as best answers. Okay? And as we move on with tech duties and other classes, you will hear me say more about do not use lists or error-prone abbreviations, so do not use. Okay. Some applications though. So if you have to do a calculation per dose, usually this is an institutional setting. What do I mean by institutional? You're in a nursing home, assisted living, hospital. Right? You want to know how much to give to the patient per dose. When it's total quantity, this is a retail setting. You want to know how much for the entire, because the patient's not coming back until 30 days later for refill or 60 days later for refill. You see the application? And if you're in a closed door facility, the single day matters. Why? You're gonna, in sequence 3, we're gonna do this. We call it a bingo card or blister pack. Closed door pharmacies fill prescriptions for nursing homes and assisted living. And for it to be easier, you're in blister packs. And it's gonna be a per day thing. You're gonna pack it per day. Okay, so they'd have a cardboard for that day, in the morning, in the afternoon or night, or each blister pack. Okay, I'm going to show you that, and you're going to make some of that. And sometimes you end up in a pharmacy that does that. So one of my students said, my job is easy, Michelle. I just make bingo cards every day. Okay, that means that's a closed door setting. Okay, and they fill prescriptions for nursing homes and assisted living institutions. Okay, any questions before I move on? Okay, 2 minutes to breathe, perfect timing, 8:28, 8:30, I start alligation. I'll cut this video so it's another topic. You can easily find them.